There we go. So hello everybody. That's Ivy right there, and she is a kind of a chubby golden doodle, but it's okay. I'm kind of a chubby groomer. And that's Alicia. Alicia, I just met Alicia. She's from Peru. Anyways, she's such an amazing person on the table first. So this is just my my kind of philosophy. But Alicia and I were actually talking about it. She asked me, what do you do about dogs that like growl or they're mean? And I told her that, yeah, I mean, it happens. And I told her, yeah, a lot of times it's because they don't know me. Once they get to know me, once they follow my YouTube channel, they'll, no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, so I told her I calm down and I just relax and I take my time and I get them used to me first. And once they're comfortable enough with me touching them, then I can groom them. So I told her for me, sometimes it's all day, sometimes it's weeks, sometimes it's years before a dog will get comfortable with me. It's just depending on the dog's history. Anyways, for me, it's all about working with the dog and trying to let the dog know with everything I do should symbolize to the dog that I care about them, right? That I'm trying to help them. Okay. So even getting her on the table, I used to just pick the dogs up and put them on the table and start working. But a dog trainer that worked out, I got to meet, I got a chance to meet and work with out in Utah. He sat and watched me groom a dog, and he gave me pointers the whole time. And I put the dog on the table. He was like, "Why did you do that?" I was like, "What do you mean? Do what?" He was like, "Why did you put the dog on the table like that?" I was like, "What are you crazy?" Like, because I got to work. I'm gonna groom this dog, so I put him on the table. And he was like, "But why didn't you have the dog help you get, why didn't you have the dog get up on the table himself?" And I was like, because I don't have time for that. Like I'm not a dog trainer. And he was saying that just his opinion, but if we get the dogs to get up on the table on their own, then because they don't feel like they were just tossed and put up on the table, they had some sort of a say so in what goes on. They will cooperate much better because they feel like it was their decision to get on the table. But when you have a dog like Ivy here, she's chubby, she's short, she's not gonna be able to get up on the table on her own, especially because I have these risers, these 6-inch risers. So here's what I do. I put the front two paws on the table and let her get on the table the rest of the way. That way it's kind of like teamwork. So I'll show you. All right, Ivy, Miss Ivy. All right, girl.
Okay. Good girl.
And
Go.
Alicia tells me Ivy's very lazy. She's probably why she's so chubby. But anyway, so I got Ivy here, right? I got her spine straight. I put her two front paws on the table. Okay. There we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Alicia. So when you get the two front paws on the table first, oh, okay, there we go. Then they usually, and paws on the table, they usually will, because their back leg come up on the table on their own. So now that we got her on the table, right, and she's still kind of a jumper, she's a fairly new client. I think this is maybe my fifth visit here. I'm not sure, but anyways, yeah. Before I couldn't take my eyes off her even for a second because she just wanted to jump off this. But anyways, now I can kind of trust her a little bit, but still, that's what this loop is here for. Nice. All right, so I just got her on the table. So what I'm going to start with is, I guess, my fingers, right? I just want to assess the coat, right? And you can feel for tangles and mats. And that way I get a good idea of what tool I can start with. Because if I don't feel a bunch of mats and, if it doesn't feel too rough, then I can go ahead and start with the comb and it won't pull too much. But it feels like here in the midsection, I could probably get away with using the comb. Kind of tight, especially here on the legs. So Instead of using the comb first, I'm going to use a brush to break everything up. In fact, I'm also going to bring out the mat splitter, the dematting rake, right? And that has serrated edges there to kind of help break and cut the mats up. Because they kind of, it's like an intertangled web, you know, of dead hair. I'm going to use this to break up the top coat because it's really thick here. So I'm going to break up the hair at the surface because that's all this is doing really. It's just breaking up the hair at the surface level. So even though the hair looks nice now after I brush it, I can't really leave it like this because even though it looks nice, so you got to go in, and then if it catches too much, that's when you use this already pulling at her skin. So it's not going to be comfortable for her. So that's why, and I don't fault them for that. No judgment here, right? Hopefully people don't judge me for choosing to demat because they say that it's torture for the dog, right? And it could be the way you go about it. If she felt tortured, I feel like even 5 seconds of torture is too much, right? We shouldn't even do it for 5 seconds. So no amount of time is okay if it's torture, in my opinion. But if we let her know that we're just doing this to help her, and it's going to help her feel much better, you're okay. See? There we go. Good girl. And spray helps. Let me get my hydrating spray here. There we go. The reason why it's a hydrating spray, you can use distilled water to get anyways, you can order a much better coat conditioner online. I'm just using that because I was in a bind, I ran out. So anyways, the reason why it helps when you spray the coat and you get it wet, I don't know if you've ever watched Shanghai Noon, but hey, what's up, Dolores? In Shanghai Noon, and Luke Wilson, is it Luke Wilson? Or is it Owen Wilson? I think it might be Owen. Anyways, the two characters in that movie, Jackie Chan and I think it was Luke Wilson. Anyways, they're in jail, and Jackie Chan, he's like a Chinese soldier kind of guy. He has this Chinese robe on. Oh, thank you. And he takes his robe off and starts peeing on it. And is it Owen Wilson or Luke Wilson? It's gonna bug me. But anyways, I'm just gonna go with one. Luke says, the cowboy says like, whoa, 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 what are you doing? Why are you peeing on the, what are you doing? And Jackie Chan, his character is like, wet cloth don't break. And then he uses that to bend the bars, the steel metal bars that they're, locked in behind. He uses the rope that he peed on to bend the bars. And it's the same thing. Like when the hair gets wet, it's stronger, it has more elasticity. So it's not going to break, or it has more. Also, the dead hairs are going to be the opposite. It's not really going to strengthen the dead hairs because the dead hairs are dead. Oh. So, there we go. You're okay. So the feet are usually going to be a sensitive area for most dogs, especially dogs who haven't really gained their trust fully yet. Because it takes some time. There we go. So we can always work, come back to that area. You're okay, girl. There we go. And so today, all I'm really doing is getting them combed out, getting all this dead hair worked out and combed out. And then I am going to use the scissors and just kind of shape them up a little bit. And I'll show you how I do that. There you go, girl. Okay. There you go. Thank you so much, Ivy. Okay. So we just went through that coat with all of this. And look at that. Right? So it doesn't look like much, but it's enough to prevent the comb from going through. And it's enough to start the matting, avalanche, basically. It's like a snowball effect, because once the mat forms, then it starts to tangle up, and then it starts to pull in even healthy hairs, and then it starts to become a big pelted mess all over the body, and then you have really no other choice but to shave them. So by coming in between the haircut, this is a really nice little maintenance visit, a maintenance appointment, where I'm coming in and just kind of helping to maintain the skin and coat in between the grooming session, so that we don't have to worry about ever getting into the spot where we have to. There you go. Because don't get me wrong, I will shave a dog if I have to, but it's really the last resort for me. I really don't mind shaving dogs down. Not only do I feel like it's such a shame, to lose all this beautiful hair, but I feel like, for me, because what I believe, the dog has hair for a reason. It, number one, protects their skin, their really fragile, sensitive skin. The sun, the weather, and also the hair provides the oil being produced by her skin. You're such a good girl. It provides the oil a mode of transportation so that it can travel all throughout the body. That's why when the oils carry, like the flea medicine that you put on the back of their shoulders, it's the oil that's being produced by their skin that carries that medication all throughout their body. And that oil is using the hair to travel. So, just like moving water stays fresh and clean and still, which is why daily brushing is highly recommended, because you're helping to distribute those oils evenly throughout the coat when you brush them. Good girl. So that's why I believe that it's best to avoid shaving at all costs. But I don't like to say always or never. I never say never, and I always avoid saying always. Anyways, because there's always an exception to the rule. There's usually an exception to the rule. And I don't like to say I never shave, because that would be incorrect. That would be false. I do shave dogs sometimes when the situation calls for it, Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and spray this other leg down. So see that with that spray, it really helped get that leg brushed out much faster. There we go. And so see, with the brush, we're brushing out even more of that dead, fuzzy hair. It's like removing layers of clothes, It's gotta be refreshing. And what I'm doing is called line brushing. So I'm gonna start at the bottom and work my way up, brushing section by section, little sections by section, and work my way up. There you go. Thank you, girl. And this is normal. This is normal. It's like Anderson Silva. Guys, anyway, it's called allo grooming. It's a scientific term. It's what animals, it's just a natural kind of reaction when they groom each other. It's a show of like bond, it's a show of affection, and it's a bonding tool that they use to help strengthen and form bonds. So when animals groom each other, they literally groom each other. They want to reciprocate. Well, it's different for cats. Seems like it's always different for cats, but with cats it's different. From what I read, with cats, it's the alpha cat. It's the cat that's in charge of the group, the leader of the group, that goes and grooms, licks, grooms the other cats in his group. His I get, what do you call them? Anyways, his minions, you know. But you're mine. I own you, you know. So with cats, and also they said that the cat that does that, the most dominant cat, no other cat grooms him. He grooms himself or she, you know. But with dogs and most other animals, it's different. Um, the alpha, the one in charge, is usually one that gets groomed by the others because you know trying to gain favor and things like that. It's really interesting when you look at how animals view what grooming is. You realize, wow, we have a very twisted, you know, very I don't know if perverted is the right word. It's not perverted. It's just very. We've come a long way from what grooming really is. You know, we think grooming is a bunch of perfumes and scents and colognes and shampoos and conditioners and clippers and scissors. We forget this is grooming. This is grooming. The willingness to spend the time. You know, people spend up to 3 hours each session grooming themselves. They must, because the oil being produced by their skin at the base of their tail has to be distributed all across their body so that it kind of waterproofs them and helps them float a little bit in the water and also repels the water from their skin. So if the beaver, it's not even about vanity. Nobody watches a beaver grooming himself for 3 hours straight and says, look at the vain beaver, look how vain he is, you know? It's not about vanity. It's not about looking good. It's about feeling good, you know? It's about making sure he feels better. And he has the oil spread all throughout his coat and his skin so that he doesn't freeze to death underwater, you know? I remember when I was at the Phoenix Zoo, and if you've never been to the Phoenix Zoo, I highly recommend it. But at the Phoenix Zoo, I remember we walked out to a prairie dog section, and I watched this one prairie dog laying on a rock, just sunbathing on his side. And another prairie dog was going through his coat, chewing down his coat, down from like the head down to the tail. And like in a line, almost like a corn on the cob. But that's why I even said, I was like, it looks like he's eating a corn on the cob, like how I would eat it, right? Eat row by row. And what he was doing was he was peeling off the dead coat, the dead fuzzy old hair that was more blonde color, more yellow, like the color was more dull, and the coat was fuzzy, and he was chewing that old hair off, and underneath it was this very short hair that laid close to the skin, and it was dark brown, had dark colors to it. That was the live hair that was underneath all that dead hair. And the prairie dog on top was chewing, you know, literally chewing with his teeth and pulling out the dead hair for that other prairie dog that was just laying there enjoying it, basking in the sun. That's what grooming is. And it probably took a while. We didn't even stay there and watch the whole thing. He was working hard, that guy. He was a really good groomer, that prairie dog. You know, that's what grooming is. And when we do that for each other, you know, that's why I say that grooming is love in action. It's letting her know that I love her, you know, in everything that I do. And even though it might feel uncomfortable, especially with her feet, once I get all that dead coat out, that fluffy, dead, fuzzy, discolored hair that's stuck inside that skin, once I get it out, it feels much better. And she then is more appreciative. Good girl. See that? I'm literally combing her foot right now, and she's letting me. See that? So you earn it. You earn their trust. You're welcome, girl. You know? So the first session that I ever had with her, it was kind of crazy. She was spinning, and she was trying to jump off the table. Plus, she was not really comfortable with me combing her, so she was doing all this plus all of that. But by just being patient with her, giving her breaks, letting her down, you know, we'll go outside for a second, and then we'll come back. And then I'll let her know, reassure her that she's doing good, and I understand why she's feeling this. And then we go back into it. And by the time we're done, they're so comfortable, and they just lay there. I mean, I remember the owner, she was even commenting like, they just look so peaceful and happy. They're like smiling while they're just laying on the floor. It's like, of course they are, because they're comfortable and happy. And they felt how much I loved and cared about them, even though they may have been uncooperative and jumpy. I understand why. I'm not going to get upset with them. And so by giving them a pleasant experience, even though it might take 2, 3 hours to get them all combed out, because to actually get them fully combed out, head to toe, it takes time. There's no secret, there's no special magic potion or anything. There's no magic wand. It just takes time and energy and patience. But when we get it done, because it's such honest work, and because we actually got the hair out, she's gonna feel so much better and happier, and she appreciates the work that we're doing. She can literally taste the sweat on my face when she licks me. There we go. So I think that's why grooming is so special. We're literally speaking their language. We're not telling them, I love you. Oh, I love you so much. Giving them treats. That's one way to show them that you love them, of course. I'm not downing that. But I think a better way to show them that you love them is to actually be willing to sweat them. To actually make a real change in their life. To actually transform the dog's coat into a rough, kind of, matted, tangled up coat where it's all dead and rough and kind of discolored. And you literally transform it into a fluffy, and the dog is comfortable now, and they don't smell. Because this is what's holding on to the odor. It's not their healthy hair. It's this hair that's holding on to all that odor. Because it's the bacteria in that dead hair, Anyways, so, I'm actually making a real difference in this dog's life, in Butter's life. And it's a butterfly effect, And that's how I save the world. I've already saved the world about a dozen times this morning on my way to work. And that's not even counting all the countless numbers of people who have... You notice how the volume starts to go up as my ego does. Anyways, so that was my morning, just saving the world a few times. But I don't want to talk about it because of my modesty, of how humble and my humility, the level of humility that I have attained through years of meditation and arriving to enlightenment, so then you have humility and you don't talk about it, you see? So anyways, that's why I'm only explaining it to you so that you would understand, right? So that's why I wasn't actually bragging. It was a humble brag. And that's okay, right? As long as I'm being sneaky about it, bragging in a humble way, what's the problem? Anyways, so enough with nonsense. I don't know why I get caught up in a stupid quote. Her ears. Okay, they look good. So if the ears look good, then I usually don't bother with it. See that? If they used to have hair inside of it. I used to have to pluck it and clean it. It was brown. So, but now it's looking nice. So I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Jim Rohn's father had a really good one. Jim's father would say, if it's raining, you don't need to fix it. Okay. Good girl. Let's spray the head. So when I spray the head, I like to cover the eyes, just in case. And I know it's safe. I've gotten this sprays in my eye before. And it is bothersome a little. Sometimes it stings a little, but I'm fine. So I know the dogs will probably be fine. But still, if you can avoid it, why not, right? So that's why I like to cover the eyes. So Alicia, she was like, so this is your job? This is what you do? This is your work? And I was like, I know, right? I was like, I know, and I get paid for this. What? I was like, can you believe it? I mean, of course and I was telling her, of course it's hard, it's not easy, but it's something that I love, and so it's worth it. Oh, I'm just talking about you, Alicia. Oh man, there you go. There you go, girl. So once we get this top layer broken up with this brush, then it's easier to comb through. So that's why. There we go. Good girl. Okay. I remember one time a client wanted to sit in on the groom, and I was grooming his Westies. And I was doing all this brushing and carding because Westies especially, those terriers, they shed a lot. And there's always a lot of dead coat being carted out. So I remember I was doing all this brushing and brushing out all the dead coat, and I was sweating. And the guy goes, June, oh my God, you're sweating. Like he was shocked. I was like, of course I'm sweating. He's like, what? I'm brushing your dog? Like, of course I'm sweating. But to me, sweating doesn't mean that this is such a hard job and it sucks. I would sweat if I went and played basketball with my friends. You know what I'm saying? I would sweat if I went and played any kind of sport with them. But I'm not gonna be like, oh man, look, I'm sweating. I'm having such a bad time. It's like, for me, this is amazing. This is awesome. Oh man. Wet. And I give the dogs a bath. And I'm getting all wet and everything. Amazing. I get paid to get wet with your dog. Anyway, that sounded inappropriate. Hey, what's up, Robin? How are you? Okay. Here's an idea. I'm going to see, so I'm brushing the front part here, the old school way, with the spray, slicker brush, dematting rake, and a comb, a metal comb. For her backside, her back legs, I'm gonna try spraying it and using a force dryer to see if the force dryer, using the high velocity air, if that might be a little shortcut. It might make the job easier by using the air to blast the hair apart, separate it. So that looked like I shoved her head, but I really didn't. I did this to block, and she did that. I really just blocked her. I blocked her from going that way. See, like that? I'm just blocking, that's it. Anyways, but yeah, I'm gonna see if maybe it might be easier, but I don't think so. I feel like her coat is tangled up pretty tight. It's pretty thick, look at that. I'm really working to get this through there. So I don't think that the high velocity air, even though I'm blasting it, and I focus the air on tangles for me, but we'll try it, we'll see. You're okay. It's difficult because she wants to see what's going on, so when I work back here, like behind her neck, she can't see what I'm doing and she wants to, and that's what the fuss is about. She's turning her head because she wants to see what's going on, but she can't because it's right there behind her head. which is okay. They're intelligent. They're intelligent creatures, dogs. They want to know what's going on. They're curious, you know, so it's okay. I let them inspect. I show them the tools. There you go. And name and explain is another good one. I actually use names so bouncy and crazy and wild. So you name the tool, and then you tell them what you're going to do with it, and then you praise them for it. There you go. Good brush. Good girl. Good girl. There you go. We're just brushing. See? That's the brush. Remember the brush? We're just brushing. Good brush. Good girl. Good brush. There we go. Wow, that's tangled up tight. Okay, so when it's tangled up that tight, now we have to go through and with some scissors to try to break it up. So I'm gonna use the edge. It was actually sharp. It had a pointy edge, and I accidentally caught like a skin tag, ripped the skin open, and there was lots of blood. So now, lesson learned, I use the blunt tip, and you just run it with the coat. See that? And all those little tangles that you ran into before, you just slice right through them. Which is why it's important to keep your tools sharp. There we go. I'm just going through. And you can just kind of see the dead hair that was all tangled up, flying off. Good girl. There we go. And I just work with whichever way they turn. If she turns and she gives me this side, I'm gonna work on this side. And then if she turns again, because she's uncomfortable, and gives me the other side, I'm gonna work on the other side. You know, because it's all gotta get worked on anyways. So I feel like, you know, I just work with whichever side she gives me. Kind of just, you know, kind of work with the dog. There you go. Alrighty. And also, if you are a dog groomer, this is why I encourage dog groomers to schedule that in between appointment. Because imagine had I not come to do this, you know, and I'm already busting out the scissors to bust through these mats. Imagine if I came a few weeks later, then we would have a real mess. Because every single day, their skin is growing 60 to 70 feet of hair a day. Every single day. So their hair is constantly growing and dying and being replaced. And that means that within a few days, this would turn pretty bad, you know? It would just keep forming, keep tangling, keep building upon itself. And even though owners promise that they do brush their dogs, like I showed you, this is what they're doing. They're brushing the top of the coat, and it looks nice. And then they're bringing their matted dog to you, and they're going to be furious because in their mind, their dog's not matted. They brushed their dog. But little do they know, the dog owner, that underneath all of that, at the skin level, it's all tangled up into little balls of dead hair that this brush is not really touching. It's just getting the top layer out. And whatever loose hair is ready to come out, that's all it's really getting. There you go. Good girl. And even that is a lot. See that? So now I'm going to go through with this and see if I can get it to bust through. Ooh, sometimes it's like Wing Chun, you know? It's like doing martial arts. Whoa, whoa. Okay. She really doesn't like things going on behind her head where she can't see. That's okay. There we go. Okay, okay. There we go. Good girl. See, there's a moment where you could almost feel where it kind of clicks with them. They're like, oh, that's what you're doing. Okay. Wow, it's all matted, really tight. Okay, so I'm gonna take a breather real quick. Oh man, get some water. This one dog may take me all day. But of course, if this does go on for another hour or two of this combing and just her fighting, then I'll give her a break, let her go for a walk, and then we'll continue on. Maybe another couple of hours, see how that goes, and then give her another break, maybe let her eat something, and then try again to finish. But the other option would be to shave this coat off, shave off all this hair, just shear so as long as the owner's on board with this. Now I understand this might be too much in their dogs, no, you're not gonna comb my dog all day long, and that's fine, because I can't take any more clients. I actually have too many clients right now as it is. But yeah, I mean that's totally cool. We don't have to agree, but we all have to do what we believe is right. And for me, I believe that working to save the coat is what would be best for her in the long run. Best for her health, her overall skin health. And I feel like because I'm running into some obstacles here, some challenges, I don't want to give up on what I know is the right thing to do, Because some people focus on the challenge, other people focus on the goal. And I want to focus on the goal, the end result, where she's happy and laying down comfortably. Because we've gotten there about 4 or 5 times already. Even with her behaving really crazy, and it really did take me all day. And I think I spent a total of like 9 or 10 hours here that first time. Because first of all, they were in bad shape. And secondly, they didn't know who I was. And they were just really not trusting me. So they were jumping around, just not cooperating. So the first visit it was exhausting. I was like wiped out. Look at all that. But the second visit became easier. Now is just, like all the dogs right now, they're going through a coat change because of the change of the season. Just like that prairie dog I was telling you about at the Phoenix Zoo. So when they go through that coat change, they're going to have an overabundance of dead hair. What? Usually my Kung Fu style is pretty good, but she's got some pretty slick moves. But anyways, it's because we sparred so many times together. She kind of knows my moves now, and I know hers. So we're constantly polishing each other, Kung Fu styles. Anyways, I think what's going on this time is just we're in that time of year where it's just going to be a lot of extra work. And this is a time of year where you'll see a lot of groomers kind of complaining that their coat's not looking as smooth as usual, things like that, because there's a couple times a year where they go through this coat change, and unless you get all of it out, the haircut is just not going to look smooth no matter what you do. Even if you're using the same length as you did the last time. There you go. Good girl. There you go. You know, the interesting thing, though, is when people first meet me, I tell them what I do. You know, just like Alicia this morning. Oh, you're so lucky. And I'm like, I know, right? This is what I get to do, and I get paid. But then when they see me actually do the work, and they see all the sweat and all the amount of effort and patience and time it takes, no longer saying, you're so lucky, but I am. That's the difference. After I'm done with her, I look at the work and I'm like, oh my God, I feel so proud of myself. I feel so rewarded inside. And I'm like, aren't I so lucky? I get paid to do this. I still say it at the end, but the people who first meet me, they see all the work and time that goes into it. They're just art. Looks hot in there. Yeah, it is hot in here. Shoot, I'm the one in here, Raquel. You know what I'm saying? I did make an entrance. Of course, it's gonna be hot in here. Anyways, oh my goodness, look at all these. Okay, you know what? I could use a quick break, and so could she. Let me get caught up on these comments here. Robin says, doing well, thanks. Won't the wet tighten the fur more? Yes, if I saturated it, but I'm just misting it with the coat conditioner, and it has silicone and oils to help the hair slip better. So it's different. If I were to saturate her in water, then it would tighten up the curls and make it harder. Which is why you don't want to put a matted dog in a bathtub and start washing them. Oh, your Polly probably needs a brushing too. I'm kidding. But probably so. I mean, right now it's a pretty good guess. Raquel, Jennifer T. I didn't realize the slicker brush doesn't reach the skin. Yeah, it really doesn't do much. It helps break up the surface so that I can get the other tools. Where's my comb? Here it is. She's sitting on it. I can get the comb through. And that's what's gonna really get the results. Look at her. Yeah, right? Oh my goodness, she's so sweet. In Arizona heat, I would shave my dog. It makes me hot just thinking about wearing. That's the myth though, Jennifer. In Arizona heat, than a pit bull would with a short coat. Why? Because they have more insulation. Think about people in the desert, in the Middle East, who live out in the desert. They're all covered up, right? They're all wrapped up in robes and they have their turban and all that, I don't know what it's called, turban. Anyways, now imagine we went to the Middle East, into the desert, and we see these people wrapped up in robes, their heads all covered up. We're like, these people must be miserable. Look at them. I'm hot just looking at them. And we strip all that off of them. And we put on a swimming suit for them. Swimsuit pants, that's it. And the women wear bikinis. We just killed them. You know what I'm saying? By thinking we're helping them, we just killed them. All of that was protecting them from the heat, from the sun. So by removing this coat that's protecting her from the sun and keeping her cool out there, when I just remove it and shear it all off, now I've exposed her skin to the elements with no protection. By thinking I'm helping, I actually probably really destroyed the health of her skin and coat. So that's the seriousness of it, Jennifer. That's why, even in the heat, I would recommend some coat. Jennifer, she is cute with the long fur. Yeah, part of the fun of having a long-haired dog is the long hair. Oh, let me silence my phone here. Okay. Raquel, she's the most wiggly dog I've seen. Yeah, she's one of the newer ones, but over time that'll go away. Is she a puppy? No, she's not a puppy. Look at her. Looks hot in there. Okay, yeah, I already read that. Shiro says, hi June, without hurting them. Do you just have to take as long as it takes? Yeah, exactly. That's the best answer. Because it's kind of like saying, how do I smoke my brisket faster? There is no faster. You just gotta, baby, and don't open it. Everything that it's like, yeah. Especially if you're trying not to hurt the dog, there is no faster. Slower, slow down, give them breaks. I shaved Polly down in the summer. He is 12 years old now. How old is she? Ooh, I'm not sure how old she is. I don't know. I remember. But anyways, it would be better to shave them in the winter because in a freeze because they don't have that coat to protect them from the cold. So really, there's no good time to shave a dog. Robin C says, good analogy, awesome. Jennifer says, that makes sense, awesome. What's up, doll baby? Kit Kat says, I leave Polly's hair about 1 to 2 inches long. Perfect, perfect. Even a half an inch, even a quarter inch. But when you go down with the blade, with like a 10 blade or a 7 blade even, and a 7, I do Schnauzer's back. Like yesterday I did Stella, I did her back with a 7. So I understand some breeds, it's like, so anyways. Okay, now that she's relaxed, because she was kind of, so you guys saw she was really wiggly and getting jumpy. So now that she's relaxed again, brought her energy level back down, I'm gonna go ahead and try. There you go, girl. There you go. Alrighty. Good girl. So you see much less of a fight because as her energy level started to escalate, she started to go from a 3 to a 5 to a 7. And you could tell it was starting to go from a 3 to a 5 to a 7. And you could tell it was starting to escalate. And she was getting more and more jumpy, more and more wiggly. It was just going to go up from there if I tried to continue. But by just stepping back for a moment, giving her a break, giving her a moment to just calm down, now she's much more cooperative. See that? So to answer your question, how do you do it faster? I guess you do it faster by slowing down, And I remember reading this really good quote. I think it was by Brendan Burchard, but he said, no matter what it is in life, if you were really eating a meal, if you really want to enjoy that meal, slow down, right? Or reading a really good book that you like. If you really want to enjoy that book, slow down, right? Slow down, right? Even making love to your partner. If you really want to enjoy it, right? Slow down, right? Sometimes it's all the stuff that happens before the actual thing that's more enjoyable, Slow down, Life's not just about getting it done. Then we should, right, when we come out of our mother's womb, dive straight into our grave, right? Done. Mission accomplished, right? Hashtag done. Got it done, right? Because if the point of everything is end point, right from our mother's womb, straight out, dive right into the grave. Hashtag done. I don't think that that's the point of life. I don't think that's the point of anything. It's to just get it done. It's about how you get it done. Why you want to get it done. Why is it worth your time? Is it meaningful to you? Right, girl? I love it. I love it. There we go. So that's the thing. I remember one time I was at like a workshop, grooming class, and it was the queen of get her done. And I remember feeling immediately like I am in the wrong class. I have stepped into the wrong room. And I did, obviously, because that groomer and I don't get along. Kit Kat. I'm a friend of Dee Dee. She taught me how to do poly. Awesome, Kit Kat. Dee Dee is an amazing good person. Raquel says, haha, God, I love you. Raquel, I am newly single, baby. I'm kidding. Go Kit Kat. Kit Kat says, go to go slow to bond and show love. Exactly. So, alrighty. It's interesting. I actually saw an interesting little factoid recently that TikTok has seen a huge boost in their numbers recently of number of users. And I was like, but isn't that interesting? And I was like, but what's the point? Why? Because with coronavirus and social distancing, like how would one even go on a date with someone? But it just goes to show that even with everything going on right now, it's like people still want to feel connected. They want to still feel a connection. They want to feel intimacy. People still want a partner, I guess, to share their experiences with. I guess that's a really kind of like ingrained part of us that we can't escape from because, yeah, I mean, I was just interested. I thought that was really fascinating because I was just like, what in the world? Like these online dating sites. Well, I guess it makes sense, right? Because we're all sitting at home online now. Even me, I know we're still in the middle of a pandemic, so that's why I only do one house a day and I don't take new clients. So I don't want to take any chances. So after this visit, I'm going straight home, and so I don't know, but I have some time and people who are single, probably wanting to communicate with someone, in a meaningful way. And they're getting on TikTok. I mean, not TikTok. What is that? What did I say it was? Shoot, not TikTok. It's that dating Tinder. Did I say TikTok earlier? I meant Tinder. Tinder has seen a big spike in their user numbers. And Tinder is that online dating website. So just thought that was really interesting that people right now seem to be very socially distanced and we seem to be very cut off from each other. But it seems like it's part of our human nature to want to connect. And myself too. I find myself interacting more on social media with my friends and people who I've actually never met in person, just kind of commenting on their posts and stuff. Because it's like, I guess I'm craving that interaction as well, that human interaction. But, I'm not saying I'm on Tinder. You won't find me on Tinder, I promise. And if you do, let me know. That's not me. Somebody hacked my picture. They're using my image to catfish somebody. You know what I'm saying? Which would be ridiculous. If you are gonna catfish someone, you would expect them to use somebody who's actually attractive, physically attractive. But not everybody has common sense, I guess. So if they're dumb enough to try to catfish somebody on Tinder, because you eventually have to meet that person, right? So anyways, if they're dumb enough to try to catfish somebody on Tinder for a date, they might be dumb enough to use my picture to do it. So anyways, if you do see me on Tinder, let me know. Slide in my DM, baby. Anyways, but yeah, I'm not on Tinder, I promise. What would I do there anyways? Okay. There we go. I just thought it was interesting because maybe, I was like, it's not just me that sometimes I feel like, there we go. Okay, girl. Okay. So the good news though is once you get an area combed out, then it's good. See that? See that? How it just goes through now very smoothly and it's fluffy and soft. So once you get it combed through, then it's good. That's why I call it such honest work. Once you do it, no one can say you didn't do it. And they can't somehow put the hair back in and make it look like you didn't do it. Nobody can sabotage your work once you've done it. But then also on the flip side, you can't fake it either. You can't say you combed her out if you really didn't, because the work will show. Okay. Okay. Since she's leaning that way, I'm just gonna lean this way. Because she was leaning that way because I was working on that side. See, now she's gonna lean this way, right? So now that she's gonna try to lean this way, so she's already anticipating me going on that side, so she's leaning this way, see that? It's really interesting because you can see them thinking and calculating. How am I gonna get out of this? There you go. Good girl. There you go. See, so that area that was giving me such a hard time right behind her neck, now it's coming out nicely. There you go, girl. Okay, so we got the front half of her all combed out. Now, just as an experiment, I'm gonna try blasting her back half with high velocity air from my force dryer, from my high velocity force dryer, and see if that is a shortcut and if that maybe will help save some time and effort so I don't have to spend so much time and sweat so much. Because, I mean, I enjoy it most of the times, but sometimes, you know, especially the clients, I feel like if there is a way to make the service better, where it's a little less time, then why not, right? Because I'm not trying to figure out how to get new clients, but I'm always thinking about ways to make my current clients happier. And whoa, if I could get the same results as, you know, going through it by hand and hand combing everything out, if I can get the same results using the air and using that machine, that tool, right, and saves a bunch of time, then why not, right? Okay, so let's try it. So now her front's all combed. Alrighty, I don't have to worry about that. I just gotta do her backside. So, good girl, Ivy. Okay, just want to get it all wet. There we go. Alrighty, now alrighty, let's see. I'll move the camera so you can see the back end. You'll see what I'm seeing. And we'll just see if it works. I'm not opposed to using it, especially if they work. Okay. Let's see. You need a fan, Kit Kat. Yeah, I do. I do need a fan, right? Can any of you guys claim to be a fan of mine? I could use at least one, like Kit Kat says. Raquel, I've never been on a dating site. Oh, Raquel, no need. DM me, you and me. And, Jennifer says they have online dates. Yeah, I don't know. It's like like a Zoom meeting, kind of. It's weird. Robin says, I grew him at home. I grew him at home. The rescues I got straight from the streets. I have watched Dee Dee for years. She helped me a ton. Most are afraid of everything. Their grooms help us spawn. Exactly, and build trust. Exactly. Dee Dee is awesome. She helped me as well, says Shiro. Robin C says the comb never lies. Exactly. Kit Kat says, that's from Dee Dee, okay? Pale is a canton that has all the poodle. Oh, Polly, okay. Okay, is a canton, okay. Robin says she's beautiful. Kit Kat, we're all your fans. We're all your fans, but a fan to call you. Nice, Kit Kat. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. So it's gonna get loud. You may want to mute it. Okay. So here's my force dryer that I'm gonna use. Shermbow. So I like to turn it on with the power set on the very lowest setting and then turn it up to high. We are your fans, but okay, I already read that. Hello, okay, awesome. So, see, she's already trying to jump off. Okay, so we'll just try it. We'll just see what happens, okay? So hopefully you muted that. Uh, okay. Dee Dee says you're awesome. Jennifer T says Dee Dee says we're awesome. That's why I want to watch you. Wow, Jennifer, that's so awesome. Thank you. Blow it on you also. Yeah, yeah, Kit Kat. That's what I do. Every time we make eye contact, I like to blow it on myself. So I show her that I'm doing it too. It's nothing to be scared of. It's no big deal. So that's why I blow myself too. I blow the air on myself. You could always take your shirt off. Ooh, that is an idea. Maybe I should. But I have a tank top underneath, so I probably could. This is because this shirt is designed to keep the hair off, but it also feels like a sweatshirt in there. All right. Thank you, Kit Kat. Robin says, haha, Kit Kat, you turning June's live into dating sites. No, you gotta pay for that. Kit Kat, LOL, sure, for you single women. And to cool yourself. Yeah, I do feel, oh my God, I feel so much better. Thank you. Um, cool, it seems to be working. Yeah, Shiro. Now, like Dee Dee says, like Jennifer said, the comb never lies. So we have to go through with the comb to see. There it is. So I got my comb. And this side I was able to get better. So I'm gonna try on this side first. And I did see a lot of mats that were kind of separating, but not really. So I'm really gonna go through with this. And then spray it one more time. So I still have to go through and separate with the slicker brush. It does feel a little better than before I used the force dryer, but it's not really making too much of a difference. I feel like maybe when the coat's in this condition, maybe that force dryer is just kind of a little bit extra step, a waste of time maybe, just in my, because if I'm gonna have to go through with the slicker brush anyways, might as well just bust up the slicker brush, start going at it, But I don't know, maybe, because I do like to use it at the end anyways, when I'm all done. Kind of like at the barber shop, when I get my own hair done, they use the blow dryer to get all that stuff off of me first. Alrighty, man, I gotta go back to the gym. Oh man, my definition. Oh, I still got it. Okay, anyways. So, not going to the gym almost 4 months again. What am I talking about chubby? I got obese, morbidly obese. Oh, look at that. See? It's a little dried piece of leaf in there that force dryer didn't get out, but the brush did. See? So the brush, I feel like the brush never lies. Alrighty. Cool, it seems to be working. Oh yeah, the hubba hubba. Oh, nice. Raquel Grant says hubba hubba. Nice. Kit Kat. All right. I'm not sure if that was a great placement there. You know what I'm saying? The word placement. Maybe maybe it would have been better in 2 separate comments, because putting them together kind of makes me worried a little bit, because it's like, yeah, you look good. Come over here to Illinois. Like, oh. I don't know. Because it kind of makes it seem like, one train of thought there. You know what I'm saying? But if it was 2 separate comments, it could have been like, oh, hey, by the way, come to Illinois, you're my dog. By the way, I think you look good. I don't know if that's, you know what though? I don't think women have to even worry about it. It's me. I gotta worry about it. I get creepy. And I think I'm joking. I'm over here laughing after I send somebody some, stupid comment because I'm just joking around and I think it's funny. But then I realize how creepy it is. I gotta be careful. 'Cause I'm a guy, I don't think women could really creep guys out, I think even if she said, hey, June, I hear you're in Georgia, I'm coming down there. I don't think I would actually be worried, In fact, I might even be a little flattered. But if I said that to a girl, hey, I hear you're in Illinois, I'm coming over. I don't know, it would be So there's a new member in our Toastmasters club. Her name's Julie, and she's young, she's attractive, and all that. But not that none of that matters. President and vice president of our club asked her, "Oh, you moved recently, right? We're gonna need that new address for your. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I did. I moved recently, and that was the old address I put on the application." And I almost said, I clicked my mic because I was muted in our go-to meeting online. I clicked the mic and I was about to say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna need that new address too. Can't believe I went to the old one." Because I thought it was funny. But then I stopped myself and I clicked the mic and I realized how creepy that might be to a new member of our club. Like she doesn't really, like I was just thinking that was probably not a good idea. And I'm getting better though. Like I said, I'm practicing, trying to develop a line. So I was so proud of myself. That was just this past day. I was like, oh yes. No, I think maybe it was a couple Tuesdays. Anyways. But yeah, I was just like, oh my God, I'm so glad I caught myself and I didn't actually say that, Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna need that new address too. I can't believe I went to the old one. Because I don't know what the old address, I don't know her. So I thought it was funny. But yeah, I forget sometimes how scary that might be for a female when a guy says creepy shit like that. So now this leg is combed out, pretty much done. Whoa. Because I'm gonna do some trimming, a little bit of scissor work, just to kind of shape her up a little bit. But that's okay, because the scissor work is actually my favorite part. That's actually the part where I'm whistling while I work. I feel like an artist. This part of the job, I feel like a construction worker. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a day laborer. Oh, this is the part of the job how important it is, which is why I do it. And also, it is the most rewarding though when I get through it, because it's the most difficult part, most labor intensive, right? Most demanding, physically demanding part of the groom. So it is the part that I look forward to the least, but I like the most when I'm done. I feel the most rewarded. But look at that. Once you comb all of it out, you can't put it back in there. There you go. Good girl. Now that it's feeling much better, she's letting me do it. There we go. Good girl. Alrighty. But yeah, I love the scissoring part where you get to shape the dog, kind of sculpt the dog, That's my favorite part. I feel like I think it's so important to learn to whistle while you work, and not literally, more metaphorically, whistle while you work. I think it's so important to learn to enjoy your job, the work that you do. Take pride in it, So I forget who was, I think it was Tom Bilyeu, who was using the example of a bus driver. He was saying if one bus driver, if that's just his job, the way he makes a paycheck, and he doesn't really care about what he's doing, it'll show in the way the bus, in the way he greets people or fails to when they enter his bus. People riding his bus will probably feel kind of that distant, cold energy, that unfriendly energy, there to get a paycheck. They don't really care about the people that they're, serving. Then there's another bus driver who tells himself that everyone that rides his bus, it's his responsibility to make sure that they are safe, and he wants them to feel happy because they were on his bus. Like they rode his bus and not anyone else's. And on his bus, he wants everyone to have a good experience and he wants them to be happy. Welcome on his bus. And he really takes his job seriously. Goes home feeling like he's living on purpose, that he's fulfilling a purpose. Even though they're both doing the same job, The bus driver who doesn't greet anybody, doesn't say hello, just drives the bus because that's his job, he goes home probably at the end of the day, probably full of stories of people who are rude to him. Can you believe this one person came on the bus and said this or did this? You know, while the other bus driver, he goes home fulfilled, rewarded, happy, satisfied with his life because he'll tell stories of Dorothy, who he helped onto the bus, and she felt so happy, and you can the smile on her face made it all worth it. He'll tell stories of the little kid in the neighborhood. He made sure he got on the bus and home safely. That was his responsibility. Someone who takes great responsibility, they also have great power. Because, like Spider-Man's uncle told him, Uncle Ben, with great power comes great responsibility. Well, here's a little life hack. If you want great power, just go ahead and take great responsibility, right? And that's how you become a superhero to others, by taking great responsibility in the work, in the task that is given to you, right? The people in your care, and you take that seriously, and you take pride in your work, right? And you literally whistle while you work. People can see the enthusiasm that you have for your craft. That is the secret, I believe. And it's whistle while you work, not stop working to whistle. I feel like sometimes too many people, they want to kind of gather at the water cooler and talk trash, talk about the weekend, talk about coworkers. It's like, that's not whistling while you work. That's stopping working. That's, stopping what you're supposed to do, not working, in order to whistle. And that's not good. The key is to whistle while you work. Don't stop working. Alrighty. There you go, girl. Alrighty. Got those cartoon legs. Okay, so now I got the tail all combed out. I just need to do this one last leg. see how she's like breathing all hard. So she's probably ready for a break. There you go. I'll let her down, give her a little break here. Alrighty. Let me see if there's any comments coming in. So I can get her lighting. There we go. Alrighty. Sorry about that. That's funny. There's usually a herd of women stampeding towards me by now. That was my mating call. Oh, I was just like giving her a break. We have one more leg to comb. Okay, what kind of comb? Oh, sorry, I'm married for 35 great years. Oh, okay, Kat, it's all good. I won't tell. You remind me of my son. That's weird. Okay, Raquel Robinson says, congrats, Kit Kat. I've been married 30 years. Wow, congratulations, both of you. Yes, also, hello, June, just joining. Whoa, hey, what's up, Buffy? I was married once, that's a different story. Oh, well, I got one too. Grooming is an art, Melanie says. I totally agree. Raquel says, that's awesome, Kit Kat. Same with you, Robin. Monica, and do you charge clients for dematting? And if so, how do you charge? No, I just charge one set fee for me to come out, And I charge for the day. I charge for how much I need to earn per day minimum to get me by. But that was when I was doing 2 houses a day on average. Now I'm doing 1. So it's a little bit different, but it's okay. I'm still grateful because some people don't have a job, Robin says, thank you both. Buffy, anyone can answer this if you know. I get a lot of dead coat out of my 9-year-old Yorkie all the time. It's hard to manage. It comes with the seasons, Buffy. Every time there's a season change, just like with the change of the sunlight, there's change in the trees and the grass and the flowers. So that's sad. Buffy says, amazingly, Yorkies can have different coat ties. Yeah, exactly. Always say thank you. Her coat is thicker for sure. Awesome. So yeah, let me go ahead and grab her again. Get Ivy back on the table. Oh, was that Holly? Hey, Holly. Oh, sorry, I still haven't finished with Ivy yet. That's Holly, her sister. She was getting a little stressed, so I put her down. Okay. All right, girl. Okay. Oh, thank you. All right. Oh, I still have one leg to comb. I think it was this. No, it's this one. I have this leg to comb. Okay, come on, Ivy. You gotta get on the table, girl. She's like, no, I'm not getting on the table. See, so that's why I don't want to just plop her on the table and start working on her. I want her to kind of get on the table on her own. See, so I'll put one leg on the table. No, she's happy just to fall off. Okay. Oh man. But yeah. So that's the thing. A lot of people tell me that I'm crazy. I should be charging more because I'm literally refusing. I'm turning away clients every day. I'm in high demand. People are telling me I should be charging more for my services. I spend all day. But for me, I just feel like, well, how much is enough? I'm already charging enough, you know? And also my clients take care of me. It feels like no matter what I charge them, they always pay me much more. So, for me, I'm good. Oh, you're okay. And even though I am working with less income these days, I ask myself, okay, can other people manage, their life with what I'm earning now? And the answer is yes. There are plenty of people that live off of what I'm earning now. So I told myself, well, then it's not about charging more. I just need to budget better. I just need to manage my money better. I don't need to charge more, especially in this environment. I feel like it would be a little bit to raise my prices in this environment where businesses are closing down. People are getting laid off or fired. I just feel like right now, everyone knows I care. I care about my clients. I care about people. But if I raise my prices in the middle of this pandemic and this economic crisis, I feel like my actions would really reflect that I care, even though I do. So I don't want there to be any misunderstandings or mixed messages or anything, or. So I just feel like for me, I'm charging enough and I don't have any extra fees. I don't charge more if it takes longer or they're mad at it, or I don't have any extra fees or anything. We have one price that we agree on. If we're both okay, we both agree on that price. I come out, I do the work, and I work until the work is done. I don't have like a 45-minute mark or some alarm that goes off. Okay, you're done. No, I'm done when the work is done. The work? Like, for example, if she just gets way too stressed out on this last leg that we have here, and she starts screaming and crying, I will let her down and I won't charge for the day because I didn't complete the work. Because I believe that we get paid for the value we bring to the marketplace, not the time. So it does take time to create something valuable, but we don't get paid for the time. We get paid for the value. So I think that's why it's so important to go to school, college, learn a trade, something, because by learning a trade, by learning something, a skill that is valuable in the marketplace, you become valuable. Learn in your training. You don't get paid for all that time. You get paid for the value you bring after you've mastered that skill, the time it takes to master it. I remember somebody was saying, you're not paying me for the 30 minutes it took to do the job. You're paying me for the 10 years it took to learn how to get it done in 30 minutes, So we're not paying for the time. We're paying for the value. And so that's the thing. It takes 10 years usually to master a skill. And there's a book called Mastery that talks about it. And so after the 10 years that it takes to master a skill, then it takes another 10 years before you get good enough to make money at it. So that's the thing, is like the path of an artist or a master is a long one. And it's a tough one. It is challenging and it's difficult. And it's going to require a lot of patience. But it's worth it, because it's what makes, I think, to be able to work towards something and to become valuable to others because of a skill or a product you offer or something that you've done, right? Because Les Brown says we should feel ashamed to die before making a positive impact on the world we live in, right? I feel like it's about service to others, and we cannot be if we're unskilled, I learned that the hard way because ever since I was a little kid, I thought I wanted to be a pastor. And, I wanted to share and be an evangelist and travel and speak. But guess what? I'm not a great speaker, But I'm glad I found that out by trying to go up and speak and finding out how bad I am at it and how nervous I get. Now I can practice and get good at it, and then you become more skillful, more valuable, There we go. So for me, my next step in my career, I guess, I would want to start a little school where I have maybe 5 or 6 students. Not too many, because I feel like more than 5, I would be spread too thin. I wouldn't be able to give them as much my time and focus as I would want. And so for me, about 5, 6 students max, start a small school. And that's why I'm going to Toastmasters and working my public speaking skills, because again, we don't get paid for the time, we get paid for the value, right? I don't want to get up in front of my classroom, these students who have paid tuition to be there, and fumble, and try to work it out and try to become a good speaker then. I want to have it all worked out, have all the kinks worked out, ironed out, and be polished and professional by then. And that way, when I have a classroom full of students looking at me, wide-eyed, ready, eager, able to provide them a valuable experience, because I'm working it all out now to prepare for that, I think the longer it takes, the harder it is, the more you have to work at it, the more rewarding it is, the more fulfilled you'll feel. And then, when you're finally able to show up with some skills, and you're able to be of value to others, to the community, and to the marketplace, then your compensation will reflect your value. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Where are we? Yes. Wow. I just made $39, y'all. Oh my God. Buffy, if you'd only let me support a member, I'd like to support groomers who teach. Wow. No, Buffy. Oh my goodness. Oh, well, I hope you're. If you ever regret this, just let me know. I'll refund it. A big corporation. This is wholesome. Oh, thank you, Monica. Like all your videos. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. Great work ethic. Robin C says, thank you. Jennifer T gave you $20. Buffy, I value you. If you ever come to Chicago, I've got 2 Yorkies and a Beaver for you. Oh, nice. Oh, awesome. Goodness, I could just pack up and go home now. I'm just kidding. People are probably like, what does he live off of? Okay. So now that I've got her all combed out, let's see here. I'm gonna bust out my scissors and shape her up. There we go. All that combed out. She is the most wiggliest dog that I've had on for a while, isn't she? And that's how you can tell my newer clients from my regulars that have been with me for like 6, 7 years. You know, my regular clients, they're like sleeping, you know, they're relaxed, totally relaxed. My newer clients are still kind of like this. There we go. Okay, and that's the fine tooth side that I'm going through with. There we go. Oh. There we go. Okay. Ooh. There we go. Okay. Boy, it is hot in here. And I think I'm feeding off of her energy. I'm feeling it at least. Because I'm an empath. I didn't even know what that was until I researched it. And you know what's funny is usually other people that can tell, you know, things about you that you don't know. I forget who it was, but someone told me that I'm an empath. And then I looked it up and it was like, oh my God. Reading the description and everything, I was like, it's like reading about myself. Like, whoa, you know? It's like, anyways, I'm an empath, so I absorb feelings easily. And I think it's because she is so hyped up and breathing so hard and so hyper and moving back and forth and just I'm getting that, I'm feeding off of that, I guess. I feel it. And it's making me feel more tired and I guess kind of, I don't know, stressed? Not stressed, because I'm breathing it out and I'm relaxing and I'm telling myself I have all day. You know, this is my art project, nothing else I need to think about. This is it. I just keep reminding myself of that. And I don't know, but I definitely feel a little bit more, drained at this point than I usually would. And I think that's part of, this dog's energy. So that's why it is really nice to work with dogs who are nice and calm and cooperative because they don't drain you. But dogs like this, they do kind of tend to drain me a little bit more, especially a house like this. After her, I have her sister to groom. Her sister's a little easier. Her coat type is especially much easier to work with, not as thick and woolly as hers. She's like a lamb. But, and doing another dog, oh man, it's just too much, I feel like. I really do need to go in home and just rest after this because, it takes a lot to absorb her anxiety and fear, which is what's causing her to react that way. She's anticipating pain. And so to absorb her anxiety, literally feeling it coming into my body and to constantly breathe it out so I don't get anxious, it's like, it kind of drains your energy, your life force almost, your chi. I'm probably literally pulling out not just toxins from her body, because along with all this dead coat comes like the danger and all the toxins locked up in their skin. So not only am I releasing the toxins, but I'm also absorbing all the anxiety she's feeling. And I have to constantly work on my own breathing and centering myself so I don't get affected by it, so I don't get anxious and overcome by the feeling of anxiety. And even when I do feel the anxiety building, I can just breathe it out and just remind myself that I'm the one that sets the beat with my own heartbeat. Here. Okay. Sorry guys, I've kind of been expecting this phone call coming in, so I'm gonna take this phone call. But I might be able to stream again later. We'll see.